Hey fellas, hi. Good evening. Welcome to our town council meeting. Madam Clerk, if you can open our meeting, we can get started.
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The annual notice was emailed to the Star Ledger and filed in the Township Clerk's office on October 25, 2017, and published in the West Orange Chronicle on November 2, 2017. Councilwoman Castellino?
Present.
Councilman Guarino?
Present.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Present.
Council President McCartney?
Present.
Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown?
Present.
And Councilman Cirillo should be here any minute.
Yes.
So first on our agenda tonight is the West Orange PAL Championship Team. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. I'm going to ask my colleague, Michelle Castellino,
Thank you.
to present the honors.
Absolutely. Okay, who's ready for winter break? Raise your hand. All right. Well, you have another week and a half to go, so, don't get too excited. But we're really excited to have you gentlemen down here this evening with your families. You worked really hard this fall with your fall travel team. A lot of work, a lot of dedication and commitment, right guys? A lot of great commitment, and that's why you're here today, to celebrate a great season and a championship, which is always great. We want to thank your parents for traveling with you. Formal travel parent could appreciate the time and commitment and teaching the players about dedication. So we thank you for that, because we couldn't have the success we had with the program if our parents didn't do a little traveling with you, gentlemen. I'm going to call up before to introduce our coaches, Mr. Rob Haas, one of the board members from the PAL. Come on up. Before I have you say a little bit about the coaches, I'm just excited to have our coaches to be called up. They're former PAL and West and high school alumni, so it's great to see them giving back to the program. So right, I'll read this one. You call the coaches up tonight. Yeah, I want to say a few things about the coaches and the kids, and I'll read that.
Sure. Thank you, Councilwoman, and also thank you, Town Council. It's truly an honor to be able to stand up here on behalf of the PAL. You definitely do, on behalf of the Town Council, you do an excellent job of supporting us all throughout the course of the year. Like I mentioned the last time I was up here, the beautiful facilities that we have, to continue to support when we have fundraisers and everything. Thank you very much. I know he's not here yet, but we definitely wanted to thank Councilman Victor Cirillo for being a great supporter of the program for his time in the service. Anytime that we had things throughout the course of the year, fundraisers, he was always there to support, whether he gave us a shout out on social media or personally being there to support our program. We definitely appreciate everything that he's done, and we want to wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. So on behalf of the PAL, we want to thank Victor. So when we do see him, we want to say thank you. I'd like to call up Coach Jagger, Coach Mike, two of our coaches that have been part of this team for the last couple of years. A quick thing about these two gentlemen, they definitely sacrifice a lot of time and effort during the course of the year because they love the game, and most of all, they love the Township of West Orange to be able to give back. So I can't thank them on behalf of the West Orange PAL. Thank you for what you guys done, and it's truly an honor what you've done to bring this team to a championship, so thank you. I'm going to call you guys up.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, coaches. Great work with the players. And I just want to read a little bit of information about all your wonderful achievements this fall. This past spring. The West Orange PAL 10U Spring Travel Baseball Team represented West Orange with an undefeated record 11-0. This is quite an accomplishment for the first time playing on the 5070 Diamond. On Sunday, November 4th, the 10U team played with their dedication hard to take a 3-2 walk-off win over West Milford in the bottom of the 6th inning. They were recognized in competitive USABL Central Northwest Division as the 10U 5070 Division champions. The West Orange Township Council is proud to recognize and congratulate the team on their excellent sportsmanship and wishes them continued success in the future. Nice job, gentlemen. So what we'll do, coaches, if you don't mind, if you want to call each of your players up, and we'll have them come up for a picture with us. If you want to say a few words about the team, go right ahead.
I just wanted to say how proud I am of these guys, and I'd like to thank them and their parents for the dedication they had for the fall season. We pretty much had 100% attendance every practice and every game, and I'm really proud on how quick the boys learned the game at 50-70, because it's a huge change from 40-60, and it was an honor coaching them, and I wish them continued success.
Yeah.
All right, Noah Gattens. Miles Burton. Jack Kim.
Congratulations.
Riley Sullivan.
Congratulations.
Brandon Chen.
Congratulations.
Hudson Showalter.
Congratulations.
Riley Necco.
Congratulations.
Patrick Castles. Max Kelly.
Congratulations.
Shep Stevenson. Michael Howell. And Jay Stevenson.
Man, you guys smile really good.
There we go.
Great job.
Good job, guys. Nice job. I want to see you back here next year. What do you think? Be back next year? All right. No pressure.
I usually bring a fresh pair of socks.
I won't tell.
The Robin saw my
And Karen, you got to get the new ones. They say the spring, they're the fall team. You must have pulled through from. Oh, yeah.
He'll be here.
All right. I know we're waiting for Victor, but we're going to move ahead with our agenda until he gets here. And next on our agenda is the nomination of Council President for 2019. Any nominations?
I'll nominate Councilman Garino.
And see,
Any other nominations or seconds?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Do you want to be Council President?
Huh?
Do you want to be Council President?
all right, we're going to take a
It's clear,
formal vote.
right?
there'll be
Once you get
formal- there'll be
nominated?
formal vote.
Okay, there you
We're
go.
going to do a formal vote on the 8th.
Okay, just in
'cause
case he
that would
says
make
no.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Oh, they have their eye on the cake.
I know they. I do.
Yeah, they want to.
We can't cut the cake without him, so
Okay.
they picked a good
Want
night
to
to
do
come.
the
I hope I have enough.
We
update?
have to do the
go around.
final.
All right.
Karen, you going to take a vote? No.
We were going to take a formal vote on the 8th.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right?
All right. We're going to keep moving along while we're waiting for Victor. We have council liaisons for the 2008-2019 term.
Okay.
And first up is Planning Board.
I'd like to nominate Council President.
I'd like to continue to serve.
I think we need to do
we don't have
nominations
to do that?
because we're doing it by resolution, so I just need to know who's taking over the committees
All
at this
right,
point.
good.
Yes, but no, thank you. It gets a little confusing, so.
No, so do I.
Yeah. No, I said
But
it
thanks for
does.
the nomination because I would like to stay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Is everyone in agreement with that?
Local Assistance Board.
Yeah. I had it, but I'm willing to, somebody else wants to take it. I know that's the first year of Ms. Brown, if you want it.
Okay, oh, I'll nominate.
Yeah, for the freshman.
Freshman on the council.
It's a
There you go.
freshman
Okay.
position.
What is the local assistance board?
It's,
What happened?
go
I
ahead.
don't know.
It meets occasionally with Ms. Duffy, so it's not a large commitment at all, and you'll deal with Mrs. Duffy on some of the items that she works with. So you could sit with her and speak with her, but it barely meets. But you could have conversations with her about different grants and whatnot. So, okay.
And if I have an ordinance, I'll get it for you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's helpful.
So I did want to pick up the next one, the Degnan House, because I've been working with the senior grant, and I had been wanting to get, when I first came on, and I was the freshman, I inherited Miss prior Councilwoman Spango. She was on the rent-a-house, and I passed that along, so I like to take the Degnan House, if my colleagues don't mind.
I also, while I realize I'm not entitled to Victor's appointments, but I also have interest to assume that position as well in the committee.
Okay, so then we would have to do a nomination and a vote.
Okay, we're at the next meeting?
No, I would say now, right, Ken?
Yeah, I mean, we're not, the formal resolution happens at the first meeting in January, but you can decide now. If you can't decide now, it'll get postponed till the first meeting in January.
Yeah, I would prefer that it doesn't because I need to do the resolution.
Well, I would make a suggestion then, because the next on our agenda is the rent-a-house. Michelle, if you wanted to take the rent-a-house, and Cindy continues.
Oh, you have to use your mic, Cindy.
Oh, sorry. Is it on?
It's on, you
Okay.
just speak
Okay,
first.
thank
So I
you.
was making a suggestion that if Cindy wants to continue in Victor's track, stay on the Degnan House, and if you would want to take the rent-a-house? I know Jerry had that before,
Rent a
but,
house is mine, yeah.
right,
Speaking to the microphone.
or vice
Well,
versa.
if you have an objection to that, then you need to state that. Now's the time.
Well, is Jerry okay with that?
Well, I wanted the rent-a-house, but now that you know, I served on the rent-a-house years ago, and
Yeah, just, I don't know why. Yeah.
I'm fine with either one. So I
That
just,
as well.
I just thought at this point in time, I had, with being my connection with the senior grant that I'm working on, it's appropriate for me to work on one of the houses. So,
Well, I think we should do one at a time, and I think we should do a nomination and a vote.
Do you want to hold on? Do you want us to keep the rent up?
I'm going to keep it.
You want to keep the?
I wanted to go to rent-a-house. I did want to go to rent-a-house. If she wants to take it, I would let her start at rent-a-house.
Sorry,
I
Council.
said, well, this is a discussion now, or what?
Right.
Yeah, we're in
discuss now?
discussion now, so.
Yes, we should be speaking into the microphones.
Yes.
Well, so the recommendation was that if you wanted to continue in Victor's track, and Michelle, working on grants, could take either one of the houses. Victor was at the Degnan House, the rent-a-house was Jerry's. I had asked to go back to the rent-a-house. If you would like interest in that, then the work there is done.
If you don't know, I'm sorry, there's no mic. Okay. The thing is, then if you're not interested in rent a house, then
I'm very interested in the rent-a-house.
then if you're good, then fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why we're
Somebody
jumping
nominate
around.
somebody.
Okay, I'm going to nominate myself for the Degnan House.
Sure.
I second.
Jerry. Okay, is there, now, we vote on that, or we take any more nominations?
You can do it either way. I mean, in the past, I think you've asked for multiple nominations
Yeah,
and
I think we would do it that
then vote on
way.
each one, so.
Yeah, I am. I'm asking questions, so, okay.
There's no right or wrong way to do it. But it seems to me in the past, we've had multiple nominations
And then
taken
we'll
a vote.
vote on the one and then the other. Okay, so is there any other nominations for the Degnan House?
Yes, Council President, I'd like to nominate Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown for the position.
Thank you,
Is there
Councilman.
a second? Okay, so that motion fails. We'll vote on the other for Michelle, correct?
Should have
To
had
have
this
the
discussion.
Yes.
Degnan, I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. All right, so Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilman Guarino,
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac,
No.
Council President McCartney.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion is passed. Okay, now the Rena House.
Can I say anything?
Yeah.
I'd like to nominate Council President Susan McCartney to replace me in the House.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, hold on a moment.
Are you interested in that, Councilman?
I wanted to serve on either one of the senior citizens.
I was getting to other
Oh,
nominations. Is there another nomination for the Rena House?
I move that Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown be also a nominee for that position, please.
Okay, is there a second? The motion fails. We'll vote on the first motion. Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilman Cirillo? I'm sorry, Councilman Guarino?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
No.
Council President McCartney?
Yes.
Okay. So that's Susan. Downtown West Orange Alliance.
I'd like to retain my seat.
I
in-
figured as much.
I'd like to retain my seat in the downtown. That's okay. Downtown West Orange Alliance.
Since you're in the middle of so much there with the Main Street, I would nominate you to continue.
I'll second.
Is there a second?
Well, we don't have to do that if it's just
Okay.
going to transfer over. If it's only if we have a discussion as to one or two people wanting. So it's going to be Jerry, Councilman Guarino.
You can call me Jerry.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's okay, right? You can call me Joe, right? You can call it
Okay. The West Orange Municipal Alliance Committee, currently Councilwoman Castellino has
Yeah,
that.
same thing with that one. That, it's another one that you work with Mrs. Duffy.
Duffy.
So again, I took
I'll-
that in as the freshman. I know it's tough to be the freshman, but
No, that's
If,
okay. I mean,
This
if
This
it's
is a
if
lot
it's
of
all
programming.
with
This,
with
right.
Patty, that's fine.
And you get familiar with a lot of programming in town that you might not otherwise hear about.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. West Orange Arts Council, Council President Susan McCartney has that currently.
I am very involved in the Arts Council, and if I stay on the Arts Council or not, I would continue to stay involved in the Arts Council.
Right.
So that's,
Is anyone else interested?
I'd be interested if you want to step off, if you want to stay on.
we're doing a lot of grants. We have a lot of grants pending and creative placemaking stuff pending.
Well, it's totally up to you. If you'd like to step down.
I would like
from
to
the-
stay on. Well, I would
Okay.
like to stay on.
Okay, I wasn't clear from what you said. Okay.
Okay. Open Space and Recreation Committee, Councilman Krokoviac.
I'm happy to continue serving.
Is everyone okay with that?
yeah.
Okay. Public Relations Commission, currently Councilwoman Castellino.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a big project with the town-wide booklet that we're creating. So I'd like to keep my position, finish up that project.
Okay. Anyone? All right. Joint Meeting Commission is a 2-year term expiring in 12/20, and currently we have Councilman Guarino.
I'd like to retain that position since with the $2 billion construction project starting. So I'd like to see that through to the end. So I'd appreciate that.
Okay. And finally, the Insurance Fund Commission, 2 representatives for a 2-year term, also expiring in December of 2020. Right now, we have Councilman Cirillo and Councilman Guarino.
Councilman-elect, if you'd like to take Victor's position on that, then I'm happy to nominate you.
I'd like to. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Council President.
Wait a minute, I have to go
Sorry,
for a
Mitch,
second on that one, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Hold on, hold on.
Sorry.
Okay, so Councilman Kukoviac, is there a second? Okay, the motion- For,
Insurance fund.
Was that
Councilwoman,
something you were interested in? Because I don't care, you know.
I think we're talking about...
the insurance fund, yes, that's what we're talking about. Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown, Councilman Kukoviac nominated her for the insurance fund, and I'm asking for a second.
Yeah, did anybody else want to, nobody, you're doing it already,
Well,
so?
I sit on that, and I was going to, but after we got done with, Councilman-elect, I was going to, call for Susan to serve on it.
Well, is that something you want to do, or?
I've never served on that before.
I mean, I don't, I'm okay with whoever wants to do it.
There's two, right? Two positions.
There's two representatives.
There's two
Right now,
representatives.
we
Stay.
have Councilman Guarino and Councilman Cirillo. So if Councilman Guarino, are you staying on that?
I'd like to.
He'd like to. Okay. And then we have the second one. Right now, we have first nomination for Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown, and we have a first nomination for Council President McCartney. So is there a second for Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown? Motion fails. Is there a second for Council President McCartney?
Yes, I would take it,
You want to
yes.
do that?
Yes, I would.
All right. I'll second you.
Okay. And the vote, Councilwoman Castellino,
Yes.
Councilman Guarino,
Yes.
Councilman Kukoviac,
No.
Council President McCartney.
Yes.
Okay.
Next on our agenda is our update for redevelopment.
Yes, everything is moving along very well. Actually, I tried to speak to them today, but for some reason I didn't get a phone call back late in the afternoon, and I didn't call till late. It was my fault. But everything is moving well. The battery factory is getting filled up on a daily basis. They're averaging about 4 or 5 rentals per week. So they're doing pretty good.
Great.
You see more and more lights on when you drive by
Yeah,
there at night.
absolutely.
Always a good sign.
Absolutely. It's moving along very well. Thank God.
Can we schedule after the holidays to go back in for the tour?
Yeah,
Because I know we
you know,
got snowed out.
Yeah, it's got snowed out, and I will give her a call and see if I can get something scheduled for after the holiday.
Yeah, it would be nice to get a tour by them
Yeah, it
again.
would be nice. I'll do that. I'll try and set that up tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Councilman, sorry.
Mr. Sayers, is there any update on Phase 2 of the Edison redevelopment?
Last I spoke to them, they were still putting the proposals together. They weren't completed. As I said, I didn't get to speak to anyone today, but I will follow up with them tomorrow on that. But last time I spoke to them, they weren't completed yet, the proposal, because they have to do a proposal and submit it to the planning board.
And no timeline at this point?
No, I do not have.
Nothing, no.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
We haven't heard anything
Yeah.
either in planning. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
Council liaison announcements?
I'll start? Okay.
Either way.
Microphone, okay. Sorry, Town Clerk. Okay. Thank you, Council President, thank you to my colleagues. Just want to do a big shout out to the Downtown Alliance, I have to, for a successful downtown holiday event on Saturday and a great tree lighting on Sunday. We had about
Bless you.
12
God bless
vendors
you.
at Community House, and people got to see the new Community House gym. Bless you, sir. And the vendors were very happy. The trolley tours were great. They went a little slower this year, so we were able to talk in tangent with, moving the people through Llewellyn Park and through the downtown corridor. So a real good shout out to Executive Director Megan Brill and the Board of Trustees and all the workers and staff, and to Joe Fagan, who, we couldn't keep our memory straight about the history of the Township of West Orange. So a big shout out to Joe So it was really, really good, and we're looking forward to more, and do even more and more as the years go on. And thank you to Mr. Paul Cito and the Board of Directors at the Community House for the use of the gym, and it's a great gym. And I'll let Councilwoman Castellino talk about Breakfast with Santa, but congratulations on a great breakfast, Councilwoman. One other thing I just want to talk about is the Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board. Our meeting was canceled for this month, but our next meeting is on January 9th, and we're going to have a special presentation at that, and we invite you all to come to that meeting on traffic safety and improvements, and Sangeeta Badlani and the Badlani Foundation are playing a big role in our development for the Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board. Hopefully, you know, we get big turnout. Also, Easy Link and Easy Ride New Jersey is asking to do a presentation for Safe Routes to School, which they've been working on the crosswalks and the Safe Routes to School and walk audit. We had a walk audit done yesterday at Kelly Elementary School. We're going to be doing additional walk audits throughout the township at all our public schools, so to make walking to school safer and healthier for our students. You guys like to walk to school, right? Right, okay. That's what we're looking for. You got to be good athletes, you got to walk. So those are the things we're waiting to get a presentation from Easy Link, Easy Ride New Jersey. They've been big supporters of our Safe Routes to School and for our Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, my colleagues.
Thank you. And it was a great day.
Okay, on December 27th, we're going to have our senior citizen holiday party at the Manor from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., $38 for the residents. So any questions, you could call Mrs. Duffy's office at 973-325-4105, and that's December 27th. Megan, Joe Fagan, all the Downtown Alliance, great job with the holiday open house. I can't express enough, gratitude how hard you all work. Big thank you to the West Orange Mountaineer Squadron, our high school junior ROTC program. Our cadets were out in full force helping. So I don't know if any of you were on downtown. They were assisting with trolley rides. They did the setup for the breakfast with Santa, and they were just unbelievable. And so lucky to have the program in our high school, and just so impressed with all the young students that participated. Shout out to Sedesco, the food services for the school district, always on hand to help us assist. The breakfast was delicious, and again, they just couldn't be more wonderful. But the downtown windows, Councilman, I'm supposed to mention, if you could get a chance downtown. As I was driving by this evening, I saw the holiday decorations in the downtown windows, so that was really fun to look at. So just, great to have holiday season, and the recreation department did a great job with the tree lighting. Challenging this year with the weather and the rain, but at least it was warm. So that was good, and Unique Performing Arts was on hand to entertain us, as well as the Vienna School of Music. So great jobs by everybody, and just a joyous, festive holiday season. So I wish everyone a happy holiday before you leave here this evening.
Excellent. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. Jim, yeah, please.
Nothing from me, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. Victor, we were doing council liaisons. Welcome.
Sure, thank you. My
Thank you.
apologies.
Not at all.
It's the holiday season, so we have to make several stops. But no report for today.
Saturday, or is it toy drive Saturday?
Yeah, we'll talk about the toy drive, I guess, during open forum. We have the president of the Hispanic Foundation here.
Okay.
Give a report. Thank
During
you.
public comment, okay. So I have a couple of announcements. One, you just mentioned the Badlani family, and this is kind of very solemn and respectful, and it's not something you would find on Facebook or social media. But about 5 years ago, the Badlanis got involved with worldwide candle lighting. Really is a worldwide candle lighting service, and it's to support families that have lost a child. And it's the second Sunday in December. It's always held. And the Badlanis used to hold it on their front lawn. And I just thought there are more and more people, unfortunately, that could benefit from the support of the community. So we moved it to the Toby Katz Center, and with the cooperation of the Recreation Department, it really is a very solemn service. People can say a prayer or a poem, something to remember a person. And it's at 6:30, the second Sunday at the Katz Center. And when I mentioned the Recreation Department and we asked if we could do this, they immediately responded. Their response was, when we float the candles of remembrance, they can just scoop them up with pool skimmers toward the end. And it was just a collaboration, and it's worked out very nicely. So, and something I just want people to know, that it's available to you. If you do know anyone, we had it on Sunday, but it would be again next year, and just letting people know. The Compassionate Friends unites families and friends around the globe in lighting candles for 1 hour. The candles are lit at 7 p.m., creating a 24-hour wave of light as it moves from time zone to time zone. Hundreds of thousands of persons commemorate and honor the memory of children in a way that transcends all ethnic, cultural, religious, and political boundaries. The worldwide candle lighting started in the United States in 1997 as a small internet observance, but has since swelled in numbers as word has spread throughout the world. So I wanted to continue that service. Very solemn. Speaking of the West Orange Arts Council, this weekend they have 2 events. The annual West Orange Arts Council Holiday Boutique. This would be unique gifts by local artists being presented. This is at the West Orange Arts Center at 551 Valley Road, Saturday, December 15th, and Sunday, December 16th from noon to 5. Also, the West Orange Arts Council has a Small Works members exhibit Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays at 2 to 3:30, and the Small Works exhibit usually is just prior to events at Luna Stage. So again, a collaboration between Luna, Pink Cupcakes, and the Arts Council. The Chamber of Commerce, save the date, please, for February 6, 2019. That would be Wednesday, February 6th. For the West Orange Chamber, the annual breakfast. I'm chairing the event. This would provide a platform for the mayor to present the State of the Town address. It will be at the Wilshire Grand. Starts at 8 o'clock from 8 to 9:30. Tickets are $35, and you can get the tickets at westorangechamber.com. Make sure you're on New Jersey, not West Orange, Florida, in purchasing your tickets. And the Planning Board met last Wednesday. Our next meeting will be January 2nd, 7:30. We meet here in Council Chambers, where we are going to begin to start the interviews and get a summary from our planner about the public meeting process for the re-examination of our master plan. Open to the public, and there will be a public hearing. Madam Clerk.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we?
Yes.
Okay.
There's candles.
So now that Victor's here, and you guys waited for cake?
Victor, they waited for you, Victor.
I made you wait.
They waited for you.
How are you guys? Good? Again? Let's see. Good work again, guys. Good work. What we should do here? Right here? Yeah. There you go. Oh, okay. You did, right?
Undefeated, Victor. They were undefeated. So on behalf of my colleagues, my town council colleagues, we would like to present this plaque to Victor in recognition of his commitment and dedication. And though I'm here as a council colleague, I am an educator professionally an educator, and I have to say Victor is such an excellent, good listener. Listens to the colleagues, he listens to the community, and he has served splendidly in his time on council from July 2010 through December 2018. A time to look back with admiration, a time to look forward with anticipation. It was beautiful when the results came in. We were very disappointed. I enjoy serving with Victor and just his integrity and his honesty all of these years. Nice perspective. So on behalf of our colleagues, we're presenting this with you. And I did hear something from someone that was there that evening when we were tallying up our results that God chose a different path. And I thought that was very appropriate for Victor, who will always stay on the straight and narrow path.
Thank you so much, Council President.
And that's
2 minutes. I'll say a few words and then we'll have some cake. So anyway, so they're extending this plaque because I was on this council for 8 years. So what we do is we make decisions for the township, for all West Orange, and we allocate funds to pick up the trash, to pick up the leaves, to to fix the potholes, to pave the roads. It all takes money. So your parents pay property taxes, and our job is to use those property taxes and allocate them for all these different services. So if the garbage is not being picked up, you give us a call, all right? And you yell at us and say, hey, what's going on here? If you have a hole in front of your house, if there's a pothole, you call us and you tell us, hey, what's going on? We really need my street fixed, right? So that's what we do up here. And it's an exciting opportunity to serve our community, and all these gentlemen and ladies do that, for your parents and for all of us in the community. So I was on it for 8 years, and now I'm going to move on and do some other stuff. And today we're going to have a little cake, and we're going to enjoy ourselves, right, in honor of the service that we've given. Hopefully one day you can be up there and you can service our community and make those decisions. And be a little patient. Sometimes people get upset. If the trees come down because of the storms, we have to be out there and making sure that everything's cleaned up. So we make decisions for the town so we can enjoy the place that we live. And we all like West Orange, right? We all love West Orange, right? The leagues, we have wonderful leagues. We have different activities, the parks, we take care of all that. So hopefully I can see you one day and we can have cake on your behalf. All right, so let's enjoy the cake, and thank you very much, Council President, my colleagues, and the community for allowing me to serve for the past 8 years. I really appreciate it, and on behalf of my family, thank you very much.
Very nice.
Oh my gosh, I was just sitting there thinking, no,
Good night.
yeah, but I've been on this longer. How much longer have I been on here?
Huh?
You're still a kid.
Oh, thank you.
Huh?
Are you really
No, I'm just sitting over here feeling old.
We're just talking
Victor
about feels like
being on the
yesterday.
council right here.
Feels like
Take a
this.
picture?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Joe, your laptop.
Yep, there we go.
I'm not
again,
going to
sorry.
fix your laptop plug. If anything
So sorry.
happens, I'll get yelled at.
Thank you very much.
Make a wish.
The appreciation from the community. I know through your years with the PAL and all you've done to support the programs and with the other recreation programs, and 8 years, your service to the community has been commendable. You talk about going in a different path and opportunity with the position that you've just recently taken this past year, and which I thought really benefit our township by you taking that position, because you brought in some needed contacts, New Jersey Transit, what you've done with those talks and negotiations. Hopefully we'll have the Highland Avenue station because of your efforts with that, and and I appreciate all of the negotiations on behalf of the town, and always trying and doing your best. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but because I know it's not goodbye, because you're always here helping and always still paying those taxes and extending a hand. But all that you've done for the Hispanic Foundation, I know Rodolfo's here tonight, and he'll be speaking. But you served a need, and you should be proud of yourself for that. What I take away with all this, I was at an event for you a month or so ago, and talking to some gentlemen, some of your new colleagues in your new position. And what I didn't know about Victor, I'd like to share with the public, is that Victor, working for the Norwich Housing Authority in his position, just to see how he's moving forward in extending helping others in a totally different capacity. And sometimes we go through life and we reinvent ourselves with opportunities that we're handed. And talking to these gentlemen about a project that you helped come to be. Victor has worked, connected all the construction and the housing that's going on within the city of Newark, which I find very exciting. And with folks who are less fortunate, who've been homeless and jobless for many years, and making those connections and giving so many people opportunity to be employed and to start their lives over and feel really good about themselves. Got me so emotional talking to one of the persons that have benefited by your goodwill, and just knowing how to make those connections with people and opportunity. So, God bless you, Victor. You're as we keep saying, you have another plan. God has another plan for you, and congratulations to all that you've accomplished and you will be accomplishing. And it's been an honor to work with you. Lots of luck, my friend.
Thank you. Councilman, thank you.
Victor, I was just sitting over here while you were up speaking to the young men on the baseball team, and you talked about you'd been there for 8 years, and then I started thinking about how long I've been here, which is even longer than you, and it really brought home your dedication and your commitment to public service, that you did this for 8 years. This is not an easy job to do, and you did it well. You made many contributions to up here on the dais to the betterment of our community, and I hope you will continue to do that, even though you don't have the job to do it, to continue to contribute to our community. So thank you very much for 8 years.
Thank you. Sure you will.
Thank you, Council President. Victor, I'm not going to go on about all the achievements and everything that was just said there, but the one thing I want to say to you is that in the 10 years that I've known you, you have been a true gentleman and a true colleague and a true friend to the town and the people of West Orange. I learned a lot from you. I campaigned against you, and even after it was all over, we became friends. Things get put aside and everything else, but I'll always remember the gentleman that you are, and the kindness and the love you have for this township. And I always want to say that it was a pleasure and an honor to meet your mom and your sister, and to know you as a true success story and what your mom did. And I have the greatest respect for her, and I'll always have the greatest respect for the Cirillo family. And thank you for your friendship. The gift to me and to the township has been your friendship and your caring. Thank you, Victor, and best of luck to you.
Very true. Thank you. Mr. Sayers.
Vic, on behalf of the administration, unfortunately the mayor couldn't be here tonight, but I want to thank you on behalf of the administration for all the work you've done over the last 8 years with us to get things done for the citizens in this community. You've done a great job. You've been very easy to work with, And as Jerry said, you're a very kind and considerate person, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. On behalf of the administration, we want to wish you good luck, and as you know, if you ever need anything, we're always here for you. And thank you for all your service. Thank you very much.
Good. Okay.
Can I say something now?
Of course.
Okay. I was at Dover Housing Authority in Morris County, and there was a commissioner there that was saying, talking about how West Orange is a really good CFO, and they're doing a really good job with the administration. and I said, and she said, "Oh, I used to work for John Gross. I was the deputy clerk." Deputy clerk. She's currently the clerk at, is it Baskin Ridge or one of the communities? Anyway, the point that I'm making is that Jack and John, you're doing a really good job in this community. And you know, sometimes we may disagree with the way government should be directed or the role of government in what we do, right? But at the end of the day, we have a passion for this community, right? And for West Orange and for our residents, and that's what, you know, that's what keeps driving us forward. When I see Joe at church on Sundays, right, getting out of his car, we say hello, right? We may disagree with the way government is moving forward, but at the end of the day, we're all good people, and we all have good hearts. And we're trying to do the best thing for West Orange, and always remember that, and let's keep us grounded. And sometimes we go at it, and it gets a little bit heated. But at the end of the day, the public should know that it's because we have a passion for this community, and we have a passion for people. The same way, you know, our residents that come up here have a passion. We just have different perspectives and different ways that we interpret what government should be like and how the decisions should be made. But at the end of the day, we're good people, right? Good people, and we have to do the best that we can to bring the perspectives together and work together. And that's what I try to do. And thank you for the opportunity. You know, thank you to the residents, Rodolfo, for your friendship and for the opportunity to work with you, with some of our less fortunate residents that really need someone to tend for, and I'm going to dedicate myself a little bit more to that effort. For what you do, the coaches, they put in sometimes more hours than we do, except for the council president. I don't know how she does it. You know, she's out there 90 hours a week. But yeah, coaches, you know, Megan, our advocates, human relations, we all do something special for the community. We may disagree with how the decision making is done, but at the end of the day, we have the community at heart. And that's what's important. That's what makes West Orange special. And I'm happy to be part and continue to be part of this community. Thank you.
Motivating. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. The annual notice was emailed to the Star Ledger and filed in the Township Clerk's office on October 25, 2017, and published in the West Orange Chronicle on November 2, 2017. Councilwoman Castellino?
Present.
Councilman Cirillo?
Present.
Councilman Guarino?
Present.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Present.
Council President McCartney?
Present.
Councilwoman-elect Matute Brown?
Present.
The public is now, sorry, will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The council is now in their public meeting.
We did receive an email from Anthony Puglisi, the Essex County Public Information Officer, and he did say he was not able to come to our meeting this evening, but he did leave us plenty of announcements. And the first is the Essex County Holiday Light Spectacular. This is free admission. If you're on Northfield, you can already see it in full force. Millions and millions of lights and walkthrough. The holiday at Kipps Castle, Wednesdays to Sundays from November 28th through to December 30th. Kips Castle is a self-guided tour on the first floor. Experience the holidays circa 1920. The Essex County Environmental Commission just judged, I don't know how many houses, but sustainable home gingerbread houses, they have to have at least 5 or 7 sustainable elements built into the gingerbread house, and the Essex County Commissioners just judged them. So they are all on display up at on Eagle Rock Avenue at the Essex County Environmental Center. We had our holiday house tours and the holiday candlelight tours at Kips Castle. Please visit EssexCountyNJ.org for all of this information. So on behalf of Anthony Puglisi, you can always contact the county. Okay, now we're open for public comment. Think Rodolfo, yeah?
Good evening. Rodolfo Rodriguez, 22 Ashwood Terrace. On behalf of the West Orange Hispanic Foundation, we want to thank really our Councilman Victor Cirillo for all the help that and all the stuff that he contributed while we were forming this foundation. I mean, if he wasn't for Victor, we probably would not be where we are today. It was a great experience doing this whole thing with the community, and I have to say that the entire Hispanic community that I represent we are really happy with the work that Victor did with all of us as a councilman. Creating the organization itself, every year when we do the toy drive, bringing the Santas, and just working out there with all of us. It's been great, even though he will still be here, but nothing like a person like that to show the world like what is a perfect American dream. We all know Victor's story, so being the president of the biggest housing department in the state, a councilman, the first Spanish councilman in West Orange, and all that, what actually makes Victor what he is today, a great guy and a great friend to have. Like Councilman Guarino said, I also ran against Victor in the past. And, but you know, at the end of the day, we all friends, and we all live in West Orange, and we all love West Orange. And the reason why this country is what it is because we agree and disagree, but we're friends. We're all friends. Sure. So on the other hand, this Saturday, we have our toys giveaway. This year, we're doing this at the Elks, because last year we couldn't feed everybody, the Trinity Church, and it was really chaos, like so many people. And then we decided to look for a bigger place. And this year we have a children DJ, we will have food, and Victor is bringing Santas as usual. And you know, a lot of people been helping with the toys, including Michelle and her family. And I understand well, St. Barnabas is bringing a lot of toys. And now we're expecting hundreds of kids. We had more than 100 last year. Wow. And but this year we're expecting more than last year. And everybody's invited to come in, council. And Mayor Parisi, I sent him an email already to be there. So it's going to be from 2 to 4. And again, on behalf of our community, we want to thank Councilman Victor Cirillo for all his service to our community. And we'll still be here. Thank you again.
Thank you, Rodolfo. Suzanne?
Hi, Suzanne Pinnell, 27 Fairview Avenue. The annual For Our Troops collection has come to a most successful end because of the generosity of so many West Orange residents, and notably our township clerk and town hall, and First Mountain Preschool, Council President McCartney, and the trustees of the West Orange Public Library who held additional collections for us. We were able to send 165 boxes to 20 servicemen and women, many of them local, including from West Orange. Our public school students contributed hundreds of cards and letters, which were so beautifully creative and heartfelt. Plus, clubs and classes at Roosevelt and the high school collected donations as well. My co-chair and I are so incredibly grateful to everyone who contributed, including many residents who helped us on packing day. I think the best way to express how much this effort means to those serving away from home over the holiday season is in the words of some young West Orange men from whom we have heard since shipping out the boxes. Dear Mrs. Piggott and Mrs. Pinnell, I just received several of your holiday boxes, and right now I am overwhelmed by the generosity of the community. You have sent me more than enough goods to last my entire deployment. He's actually being deployed on December 26th. Because of this, I can share these gifts with our soldiers as well. So on behalf of Bravo Company, I thank you again. Best of all were the holiday cards. I remember making them myself 15 years ago at Pleasantdale Elementary, and it warms my heart to know this tradition still continues. Sincerely, Stephen Moranci. Hello, Mrs. Pinnell. My name is Lance Corporal Chase Gargiulo from Camp Pendleton, California. I received a couple of care packages today from you and the West Orange community, and we all just wanted to say thank you. We are extremely thankful that we have a community like this that supports our troops, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. We appreciate all the letters from the local schools and the goodies that came along with it. Thank you again for everything. Happy holidays to all in West Orange from the Aviation Ordnance Men of Camp Pendleton. And this one, which is a little more personal. Dear Ma, geez, Mom, that's a lot of boxes. At this rate, we'll overload the Chung Hoon's mail capacity. I'm kidding, of course, but thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure it will be the best of surprises for everyone on my ship. I'm guessing it will be a month or so before we actually get the packages, but believe me, Jax, Tom, and I will share everything in the boxes with as many on my ship as we can, except the card you included in one of my boxes from West Orange students. I'd like to keep them to myself because I love my town. Sorry. And I miss it so much. Love you, Dylan. Sorry. So I wanted to thank you, everybody who was part of this in the town hall. I can't even tell you how many donations there were so many. We had so many people helping us, 200 volunteers, so many from West Orange who gave of time, and it just means so much to them when they are away from their family and their friends to know of the appreciation and the support, and the fact that some of the servicemen and women are from around the country, but many of them are local, is just remarkable that we are doing so much in our community to help protect and defend our country. So thank you again, and as always, may they all come home safe. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Megan.
Thank you. I have quite a few things to say tonight. One is, Victor, I have a present for you.
Your name and address.
1910 Squirrel Cage light bulb, the Edison, our logo. And I have to say that when I first got here, like 5.5 years ago, or almost 6 years now, and you had said, you're going to nail this job. And I was nervous trying to figure it all out, and so many people coming at you all different ways. And you'd said, you're a natural at this job, and you're going to be great. And I think that you're a natural at the job that you do in Newark. I follow you on Facebook now, and you love that town as much as you love our town. And I love seeing you excited about all the stuff that's going on there, and I still want that kiosk.
Yes.
That looks really interesting, and we can keep that here. But I wanted just to say thank you for always supporting the Downtown Alliance and us. And I absolutely knew that you were only a phone call away whenever we needed you. And you were absolutely the one council person that I could hear whenever you spoke, because you were really loud. So I appreciate that. I can't hear in this room. So we thank you very much, and enjoy your light bulb. Put it on the porch. Okay, so that was the one part of what I needed to say. I'm Megan Brill, Downtown Alliance Director. Forgot to say that. We did have a great holiday, two-day event this year for Christmas, opening up our holiday season, and there really is so many people to thank. And it's a partially free event or reduced event for the people that are participating, and we really couldn't do it without a sponsor. And this year we had Regal Bank that put up a couple $1,000s to help us defray the cost. So we should really remember that and thank them for that. We also had Washington School and the Community House, which gave us absolute wonderful staging for everyone being downtown and maneuvering. The county and the trolley was great. I think that I'm going to need to get another trolley. Folks come, I kind of think, oh, you did it last year, or year before that, and people still keep wanting to come down. And you mentioned the holiday storefronts. There's a lot to see. There's a lot of new businesses, and I think it might be worth it to add another $1,000 to the holiday open house budget to have another trolley, so we can run really a trolley like every 20, 25 minutes. And then y'all wouldn't be rushed, and you'll get it through. The ROTC kids were amazing. I did need some adults. Michelle was like, I'm on my way. I was like, I need adults. But those kids are great. We should be, just so proud to have them around. And Suzanne, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to help you. We couldn't do that without you coordinating all of that and, seeing those kids and the leadership. And you can't even imagine what, really employed folks are thinking and not being home for the holidays. So we appreciate the opportunity to be able to help you help them. So coming up is Restaurant Week and the beginning of March, or middle of March, sorry, and then Street Fair. So we are looking forward to those things. On your agenda tonight is the Downtown Alliance budget, and I just wanted to give you a couple of facts. We're going to do a whole presentation on the beginning of January, but I wanted to remind you all that we have 182 property owners, 253 storefronts, 75 second and third floor and above stores with collectively over 300 businesses that are our responsibility. Our budget is half of what South Orange's is, and it's a third of what Montclair's is. And this will all be in the PowerPoint, and I will give it to you. I would also like to bring to your attention that 5 executive directors throughout the state have quit their jobs, and positions are open. They did get filled, 2 got filled, 3 are still looking for executive directors, and truly is a crazy job. And I love the opportunity to be able to work with you all. And I hope that you all consider our budget again tonight and then again in January. The last thing that I would say, unless you have any questions, everybody good? I'd like to bring Joe Fagan up to talk about the calendar, if that's okay. Come on, Joe.
Next public comment.
We have a new fundraising opportunity. So Joe's going to talk about it. It really was his baby, and we're lucky to be able to partner with him.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Town Council, for the opportunity to speak briefly about our year-end fundraiser. This I'd like to make the public aware that we are selling, the Downtown Alliance is selling a vintage 1935 calendar. Now, the days of 1935 coincide with 2019, so all the days are the same. And this calendar was originally produced by Thomas A. Edison Inc. in West Orange, New Jersey, and it specifically says that here and on every page. Many times it's listed as, incorrectly listed as Orange, New Jersey. So this one is one that particularly promotes West Orange. And each month of the calendar is a different aspect of Edison's contributions to industry. As I said, this was produced in 1935. Edison passed away in 1931, so it was after his death, and it was at a time when his son, Charles A. Edison, was in charge of Thomas A. Edison, Inc. The cost of the calendar, we have it right on here. It's 2019 for 2019. So if you purchase it this year, you save a penny off the next year when it's 2020. I'm sure that's a selling point. So I'd like you to I'd like to urge you all to consider purchasing one of these calendars. It will make a great holiday gift. They are available in Megan's office, and we have a limited supply to go around. I think it's somewhere only like 20,000. So no, it's like we have, I think, a little over 200. But they are going quick, and I'd like to present this calendar as a gift from the Downtown Alliance to Victor for all your service to our community.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
This is a good gift. I need
Well,
to
the first
order.
one's
This would
free.
make a great
Everyone
gift.
else out there you pay double for. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Victor, for your service to our community,
Thank you,
and best of luck also to the Councilwoman-elect as she begins her tenure.
Thank you.
So, if you have any questions, please see me or Megan, and we'd be glad to answer them for you. Thank you. Oh, you can buy it online too. We can. Why don't you tell everyone now?
www.
We actually have become a fan of the PayPal buttons on our website. So we had PayPal for Breakfast with Santa, and we do have 2 buttons on our website for the calendar. One is if you just want to charge in and pick it up, you can do that, or you can fill it out and we'll ship it to you. So you just send me an email if you go on our website, downtownwo.com, and you'll see the link for the calendar right there. And actually, I forgot one thing. We really appreciate everything that you do, Victor, so enjoy your calendar. And you can buy 5 more. I forgot about our most exciting thing that's happening, and Michelle alluded to it with the holiday lights coming downtown. We have 14 storefronts that are in a contest for the top 4 stores, most creative, best overall, best lighting, best children's display. And you can go on our website and also vote. You're allowed to vote once per day for 4 stores. And we're going from now until the 21st. And we encourage you to come downtown, take a look at the storefronts. They're starting to get a little competition with one another, and they look great. So take a look at that, and you can do that all on our website, and it'll be on Facebook, and we're pushing it out in the email blast too that comes out on Thursday. So that's what that.
Thank you. Good. Sounds fun. Yes.
It was fun.
Good
I know, she
evening,
just did.
Tammy Williams, 16 Hillside Avenue, Human Relations Chairwoman. And today I am very excited to announce our winners for our 2019 MLK Award recipients. The event is going to be held on January 21st, 2019 at the Liberty School Auditorium. And I'm very pleased and proud to announce that this year we had the most candidates that we've had under my tenure. So the commission receives those nominations and they decide on the award recipients. So this year, as we have done in the past, we nominate and select 1 person from the township and 4 residents. So continuing to salute and honor our current councilman, Victor Cirillo. I am so excited to announce that he will be one of our 2019 MLK Freedom Award winner recipients. This year, we focused on community service in our township and beyond. Our residents that will also be receiving this award, and they all have been notified, are Elmani Viney, Mrs. Erica Oliver, Mrs. Willa Edgerton Chisler, and Mr. Royce Russell. They are all residents of West Orange, very deserving of this award, and we look forward to the public coming out and supporting our residents as well as our councilmen on next year. Again, it's January 21, 2019 at Liberty School, and it's usually held from 10 to 12. This year we're going to do something a little bit different, and we are serving a complimentary breakfast. It'll just be a light breakfast, so please join us a little bit early, starting at 9:30, for just a very light continental breakfast. We look forward to seeing all of you all. We have entertainment from the community, some friends from our neighboring townships, and it's always a spectacular event. So we look forward to seeing each of you all there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Rosary Morelli, Ralph Road. I'd like to thank, I forgot her name already, Suzanne, and your son. Really appreciate your service. And I cry at the Star Spangled Banner. I was 10 years old when they bombed Pearl Harbor, so I'm patriotic. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cirillo, for serving. Appreciate it. I wish you luck in your new endeavors. Don't forget us. Maybe I'll see you in church. Ms. Brown, congratulations to you. I wish you luck in all your going forward in all your endeavors. I have a few things to talk about tonight. Excuse me. One is I'm back again with this ordinance, the soliciting ordinance. The language is still stupid, needs to be changed. And I know I'm reinforced in my commitment here because I've gotten calls from neighbors all summer long. It was dark and they were getting, their doorbells were being rung. They called the dispatcher who reads the ordinance to them. So they told me it's stupid, so I'm telling you what they told me. It's stupid, it needs to be reworded. I wish someday other towns would like to emulate us and imitate us or whatever, and want to put in place programs or whatever that we have. This is an interesting one, and thank you to Robert Rashkis. Livingston has in place a soliciting ordinance, but they're adding to it a do not knock. The residents can now register for do not knock. Get on the list and you register in the town. They have the whole process of creating a database, and these solicitors don't knock at your door. Now, I used to be the historian, now I'm history. This sign says no soliciting. And this ordinance was written and rewritten, and I have to give thanks to former Councilman Wallman because he came down and he helped and we got this whole thing together at that point. The time I got this was when they upgraded the ordinance. And this was given to me, paid for it out of his own pocket by former councilman and current mayor Parisi. So I think if we ask for some money to get these signs and do what they're doing in Livingston, he might be willing to put it in the budget. I have one on my garage door. Okay. Okay, I have something here. This is GoGo Grandparent. This is the service for the seniors that Uber and Lyft, and I used them this past week, 4:30 in the morning. They pick me up, go to the airport, or at the airport when I came back. They're great. I've been appointed an ambassador. I gave out over 2,000 of these cards, and now I got this little thing as an ambassador. Karen, you want to put this up outside your office? I have others for the senior buildings. I also have some other stuff on the special transportation from the county. Give that to Karen. And I have a copy of this. You might want to make a copy to give Karen to give to the council people on the do not knock. That's it. Anybody want one of these? This is all I have. Maybe we'll get some. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Pat Segalis, 430 Main Street, West Orange. On a more serious note, at the last council meeting, I addressed freedom of the speech or lack of it. Tonight, I will address humiliation, discrimination, and hypocrisy. To humiliate is to reduce someone to a lower position in one's own eyes or others, to make someone ashamed or embarrassed. I have been accused of humiliating once or twice members of the council. It is in my opinion that the subjects may have felt humiliated, but I feel that would be on them. As politicians and public officials, they put themselves out there. They need to be more cognizant of what they say and do and to whom they say it to, and not feel that their actions should be free of criticism. So feeling ashamed or embarrassed because of something they did would be correct. Because if you haven't done anything wrong, you would not feel the need to be ashamed or embarrassed. So I feel anything that I may have pointed out either came from something that they put out there on a town council video or directly from that person himself. To discriminate is to make or show an unfair prejudice distinct between different categories of people or things. In this situation, I was asked to step down from the podium while giving a comparison of one of the council members' duties. I felt this was discrimination against me because on October 16, 2018, a Mr. Turner got up and was quite blatant about the lack of civility amongst council members. In my opinion, criticizing to the point where he actually stated he may just present to the council copies of Robert's Book of Rules. And throughout his presentation, I felt he was quite humiliating, pointing out that the council members acted like children. And I would have felt quite humiliated if I was a council member. The gavel was never struck, nor was Mr. Turner requested to step away from the podium. Reviewing the video of that meeting, there had only been 2 responses by council members. Only 2, and they were both positive of what Mr. Turner had said. I guess the others felt too humiliated to respond. This brings me to hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the process of claiming to all moral standards or belief to which one's own behavior does not conform. The hypocrisy here, in my opinion, is that the council members cannot take what they give, and that their actions towards a fellow council member is so rude and unbecoming. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes if the tide were turned. I myself have witnessed a council member being blatantly rude to another member. For the new councilwoman-elect, I say good luck, make your own decisions, don't be influenced by others, and for Councilman Cirillo, I wish you the best of luck in your new position. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Welcome. Name and address, please.
My name is Jonathan Redwine. I live at 10 Cobain Terrace.
Welcome.
I wasn't planning on making a comment tonight, but just wanted to come, since we're near the end of the year, come up and say just how much I appreciate everyone who puts themselves out there and agrees to serve, in a sincere way. I think that public service is critical, and I really appreciate that everyone on this council really does their best for what they think is best in West Orange. So I just wanted to say thank you about that. I also have a question, which is, I started to hear some, I don't know if they're rumors or stories or if they're true, but the idea that perhaps the library might be slated to move to a new location, perhaps up near Essex Green. And I wanted to ask each council member's opinion on that. And I would hope that you could address it here at the council meeting. If not, I would hope to hear about your position on a potential move of the library before the year end.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. Lauren Sweat-Vilas, Prospect Avenue in West Orange. Good evening. As you may be aware, the Zoning Board will meet this Thursday to listen to Clarion present their plans for Essex Green Shopping Center. Many residents are planning on attending, including our Green West Orange, and will advocate for smart development. You each serve as liaisons and sit on various commissions and boards, which are either directly or indirectly impacted by Clarion's plans for Essex Green. Mr. Guarino, Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board, bike lanes and racks, road diet, safe streets, crosswalks, pedestrian islands, transportation hubs, safety. Council President McCartney, the Environmental Commission, which includes Sustainable New Jersey, New Jersey Clean Energy Program, Earth Hour, Clean Communities, Mr. Kukoviak, Councilman Kukoviak, the Open Space and Recreation Committee. Clarion's current plans do not include charging stations for cars or plans to implement renewable energy strategies such as through solar panels, wind, or geothermal sources. There is no sustainable stormwater system planned, no use of recycled building materials planned. But the plans do include adding more asphalt and the destruction of well over 100 existing trees, and they do not address sidewalk safety. And our township forester was not included in the planning. But according to Clarion's own corporate responsibility report, this is just the, it's a long report, this is just the cover, but they put out their own responsibility report. Clarion partners are including sustainable energy systems at an incredible rate. Charging stations across the country, stormwater systems, solar systems, but nothing for Essex Green. Essex Green, mind you. According to the CEO of Clarion, 2018, David Gilbert, the belief that the sustainability and competitiveness of our properties go hand in hand is embedded throughout our organization, and that was included in this corporate responsibility report. As elected officials serving us residents of West Orange, and as residents yourselves, I am hoping you will join us Thursday evening at the Zoning Board meeting here in this chamber. The people you represent and the committees you serve on need your help. Clarion has big plans for Essex Green, and this is great. A revitalized shopping center in West Orange is a welcomed project. But how it's done with our seat at the table is key. We have table reserved this Thursday at 8 p.m. right here, and I hope you'll join us as we work to assure that Clarion does not simply build a pop-up center, but one that does indeed respect the public safety, the environment, and will not negatively impact our property values. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes.
Good evening, Claire Silvestri, 20 Grandview Avenue. I also want to add my thanks to Councilman Cirillo for his years of service. And I agree with you, Victor, that we should be looking more, that we all have the same interests and we should be looking more for what unites us rather than what divides us. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. This evening, I would like to speak about the presentation the mayor made at the last council meeting about pursuing a redevelopment zone for the public library property and adding 5 stories of senior housing over the library building. Council President, I thought your suggestion that night of having the mayor make his presentation prior to public comment was a really good one. Despite the fact that, by the mayor's own admission, the administration had months ago begun speaking about this with Mr. Alpert, the redeveloper of a project in the Valley, no member of the general public had even a hint of the major changes being discussed for the property up until a few days before the council meeting. And there was nothing in the 2 resolutions posted on the town website that gave any clue as to what was being planned. So I believe it would have been beneficial to all concerned, especially to the council members, to have the presentation done first and allow members of the public to comment or ask questions about the proposal before the council voted. Frankly, I don't understand why that didn't happen, because you are the council president and have the authority to make modifications to the order of business. Instead, we've had to wait 2 weeks to raise our questions and comments, and the mayor is not here to respond. But nonetheless, I'll speak to some of my concerns tonight. According to Mayor Parisi, Mr. Alpert and his team of engineers have determined the existing library building is structured to withstand 5 additional stories, and the mayor wants that to be used as 75 units of affordable senior housing. Also, according to Councilwoman Castellino, affordable housing for seniors was one of the main issues that came out of the recent senior survey. In fact, I have exactly here what the summary of the survey said about this. It said, quote, respondents wish to remain living in West Orange because of its geographic location and services available. However, difficulty affording the taxes may prevent them from staying in West Orange. Findings indicate that West Orange is a place where older adults would like to continue to live. This may be due in part to its geographic location, which is close proximity to services, resources, and attractions. In particular, respondents enjoyed Turtleback Zoo, the local library, and the Cody Ice Arena. Despite these preferences, respondents overwhelmingly indicated that West Orange is an expensive place to live in, and that will make it difficult to remain in West Orange as they age. High taxes and the availability of affordable housing are cited as primary concerns about remaining in West Orange throughout retirement. I'd like to point out here that the survey results indicated that high taxes are as much, if not more so, an impediment to seniors who would like to live in town post-retirement. And I venture to say that most would like to stay in their current homes or perhaps downsize to condos or apartments that are more reasonably monthly cost, not necessarily moving into subsidized housing. Don't get me wrong, I believe the town could certainly use more affordable senior housing. But it appears that some of the more likely scenarios described by the mayor, which include moving the main branch of the library along with the DPW garage down to the remote, steep-sloped Executive Drive complex, would not only make the library less accessible to a significant portion of our population, but would certainly lead to a public use of that land and bingo, pilots, and a major tax abatement for the owner of that very large parcel. And that loss of future tax revenues on Executive Drive would have to be made up by the rest of the taxpayers, which quite possibly could make it even more difficult for that all but 75 residents of the new library senior housing building to afford to age in place in West Orange. Finally, the administration has put this process on a very fast track. I strongly urge council members to slow it down and actively solicit input from the public at every step of the way. The library property is our property, not Mayor Parisi or Mr. Tranks, and the council should not be selling it off and making decisions about its future without ensuring that it's what the majority of residents want, what we believe is in the best interest of the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, close public comment. Make a few comments to the public. Suzanne is still here. Suzanne, thank you. You're thanking us, but we thank you for taking the initiative and picking up that charge. It was very emotional. It is very emotional. And that's just West Orange coming, send out a request, and West Orange responds. It's been my experience now for many, many years, and I'm just very impressed. The 165 boxes, and I did offer to help with the shipping, and you said that was covered as well. So outstanding. Hats off. Joe Meg, thanks for the calendars and all the information on downtown. Look forward to seeing that budget. And I was glad to hear about the Holiday Lights contest. I would like to hear more about that as well, because I like that you mentioned how other municipalities have a higher budget. And this is a way to just, I'm trying to think, charge, the energy, the charge on Main Street. So I look forward to that. Ms. Williams, thank you so much for your leadership at the Human Relations Commission. And what I really, and thank you for recognizing Victor as one of the award recipients. I think well-deserved. With his resume here in town. What I really do like about the ceremony there each year is that you find these hidden gems. That seems to be the people that the names that you just mentioned are just people that do outstanding work, have an impact on so many, and often we don't even know who they are. So again, so well deserved to receive the recognition for what they're doing, and because they are empowering so many, and once that does come to light for other people, it just supports either an organization or a foundation or something that they're involved in, and I think that's so worthwhile. So keep up the good work. Thank you for that. I'm going down my list of notes here. Rosary, do not knock. When you mentioned about, well, let's go back to the comment about the solicitation ordinance. I know we have been discussing it for a long time. The problem is putting a definition on dusk, which is what how our ordinance reads. Ken, I know we have had this, speaking to our town attorney, we have had this discussion before. Dark dusk, can we put a time limit? I think you've said this numerous times about how that language is difficult to put in ordinance.
You can put any language you want. I mean, as I said, I'm happy to, if you want to set a certain time, just tell me and I'll prepare the ordinance.
Right, but it fluctuates. I feel like that's...
This is what the listing is.
Okay.
From their ordinance.
We'll send it around and we'll review it. I'm sorry to say that the municipal clerk just stepped out, Ms. Morelli, when you were talking about this do not knock. Here she is. Karen, when Mrs. Morelli mentioned do not knock, I heard you say that we have something like this already in place.
Yes.
Would you, when you come back to speak at the microphone, and if you can describe that?
Yes, we have, we do keep a list in my office. Unfortunately, we don't really, people don't know about it. So we can put it out on social media and try to, let people know. And they call my office and we put them on a list and give them the list to the solicitors or peddlers or whoever. When they get their license, we give it to them, and then they know not to go to those addresses, which I am part of.
Okay, so when they come in for their permit, you're handing them a list of people that have already requested.
Correct.
Do not knock.
Yes.
Well, we need to promote that.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, we can pass this along also, please, because that's the Livingston policy. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Sorry I got distracted.
My neighbor Jonathan Redwine was here. Jonathan,
We'll look at it later.
the rumors about moving the library, really all the council did at our last meeting was unanimously vote to conduct a study for the area needed redevelopment at the library. That is yet to happen yet. We approved Hire Gruhl as the planner to study that. We never talked about moving the library. Again, just I'm kind of parsing Claire's remarks as well, that apparently it started as a discussion from the redeveloper that's right here on Central Avenue, doing outstanding work on Central Avenue with the Harvard Press, talking about this steel structure at the library. The mayor presented to us. I didn't think about the timing of it. We were just thinking about pretty much everything that Claire just read supports the fact, the summary, that we are looking at senior housing or affordable housing. Affordable housing does not necessarily equate to subsidized housing. It's very different. So if we had an annex, we can do an annex. There's a lot that needs to be discussed. We haven't seen the study yet, and it was just presented to us. I look forward to hearing from the planner on what that study would entail. And Mr. Svetvilas, talking about the zoning board, that is a special meeting this Thursday, December 13th at 7:30 here in council chambers, as you mentioned. Specifically the West Orange, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this in my council liaison announcements. I think it's because I live and breathe the Environmental Commission. The West Orange Environmental Commission met last Wednesday. We do have a letter that had been submitted 10 days prior to the application. One of our members on the Environmental Commission is, in fact, our forester. Our forester has met with the engineer of Clarion, so that is already has been made part of the application. His comments and remarks. I did add the electric charging station, or the request for that, at all of our planning board meetings, at applications where it's applicable. The planning board and the zoning board also, we have it by ordinance, a sustainable elements checklist that is part of the application. They have to check off, our ordinance reads that they have to check off these components that are on the checklist. If for some reason they're not putting them into effect, they have to explain why they're not putting them into effect. So the chair of the West Orange Environmental Commission and members will be at the zoning board meeting. I don't see him. Will be at the zoning board meeting to present the letter and things that environmentally sound elements that we would like to see in the application as well. And as I said, the Clarion engineer did meet with members of the Environmental Commission a few months ago. That's it. Anyone else? Joe, you're writing furiously.
Okay, this means I can't reply to everybody's comment. But I do appreciate everybody who came up and spoke tonight. I appreciate Ms. Pinnell and all the people that helped her do such a wonderful thing for our servicemen and women. So thank you. I want to say thank you to Rosary Morelli for continuing to push for the solicitation ordinance. I'm happy to sit down with you at any time just to at least draft up some alternative language so we can get the process going. I think it's far past time to start the process. Ms. Sagalis, I don't think she's here anymore, but I truly appreciate her persistence and her professionalism in coming up and expressing herself about her concerns about the behavior of the council. She's totally within her rights to do it, and I think she made very good points in a very civil manner. And hopefully this will be the end of this thread, and I hope that we as a council take this into account and become less likely to interrupt people who are speaking at public comment, no matter whether we agree with them or not, and certainly not to prevent them from speaking in the future. I'm going to combine my response to Ms. Silvestri and also to Mr. Redwine, who had asked about our thoughts about the mayor's proposal. At the last council meeting, the mayor and the town attorney came up and spoke at length and answered questions and about the potential for moving the library to Executive Drive and the whole issue with redevelopment and the senior housing. And I recommend that everybody watch that video because it's the first information that the council got about this, and I think it's great when the mayor and the administration include the council in their ongoing projects. So I really appreciated that. More specifically, I don't think that the library meets the rather stringent requirements of the redevelopment law in order to qualify for it. But on the other hand, I was just as certain that the Executive Drive Essex Green proposed redevelopment area didn't meet those requirements, but now we have it. So my concern is chiefly about the pilots at Essex Green and Executive Drive as it pertains to the loss of future revenue, not only to the municipality, but also to the school district. And even at this point, it's a very good idea to explore, but I don't think we have anywhere near enough information in order to, for me at least, to form an opinion. But I will point out that that 300 Executive Drive, the owners of Executive Drive, have already filed a pilot based upon the redevelopment plan for 300 Executive Drive, which was not in any way a redevelopment, was simply a renovation of an existing property that should have been done 20 years ago. And the owners of Executive Drive have already applied for a pilot for that property. And I thought that was very striking because not only was it, I don't think, a proper use of the pilot provision in the state law, but I just want to remind everybody that the mayor has said repeatedly in public that he would never consider a pilot except for some sort of public purpose. And certainly renovating 300 Executive Drive is not a public purpose. But despite what he has said, Executive Drive has already applied for that pilot. And this is the kind of thing that really concerns me about the whole issue. I think if we can bring in more affordable housing for seniors, I think that's good, but there's always two parts of that equation. What's the cost? What's the value that it brings, and what's the cost? So we'll see, and hopefully the administration will continue to give us information, and I really encourage the residents to provide feedback to the mayor and to the council. This is a major, major proposed change in the structure of our township, and moving the library to Executive Drive is going to be a real change in terms of the availability for people who use that library from the location it is now. So we'll see. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, my colleagues. Rosary, thank you. And I hope we get some more information on senior programs that, you know, when you go around to different areas that we can't get to, I hope we get more information about programs offered in other municipalities. And so we appreciate that. So, Mr. Savilas, I will be at the zoning board meeting on Thursday to, you know, go over our complete streets, safe streets, and the whole concept with the Essex Green development. We have in part of our, in the planning, you know, the master plan, the thing of complete streets. But remember, complete streets doesn't mean saying you have to do it. It means it has to be done in a practical way. That, you know, if you're going to take down 300 trees to put in 100 feet of sidewalk, that's not going to go. We're not going to give up 300 trees, but it has to be done practical, and we have to look at exactly what we'd like it to be based upon our safe streets, complete streets. So I'll be there with a few other members of the Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board. Mr. Redwan, when it comes to the library, you know, my thing is, when I heard about the whole thing, is that the first thing that came to mind was that it would become a rateable. And anything that creates a rateable for the township of West Orange, to me, is a great thing. And it'll also create affordable housing for seniors. That's another great thing. But, you know, everybody's going off saying the library's going to move here, the library's going to move there. But you got to look at all what else is being said. If they do this, basically the library can stay there as a satellite library, and there would be a senior citizen and recreation center. It's all there already, and I'm saying is that I still need more information. Of course, I don't like to give things away, but anything that creates a rateable for the township, because right now we get nothing for the property. But if we can generate revenue for our homeowners and more revenue to offset the taxing, expense, to me, it's a great thing, but I still need more information. And I still have to make decisions based upon what other research and what other materials the administration gives us. So right now, I don't have all that I need to make any decisions or to go further. But anything that creates a rateable in the township would be wonderful. And to have another library, if possible, that'd be great too. So I'm looking forward to that. I know Mr. Gallus left, and of course, we all like to be civil. We're all friends here. We're not enemies. You can come here and be upset about something, and we all should just sit back and listen and take it all in and say, okay, if this is what we're doing, this is what we need to do, but we need to be respectful to everybody. I like to be respected as I like to respect people. You get what you give, and that's what has to be done. And also that part answers Ms. Silvestri's question about with the library, that there's more information that needs to be given, and I don't like to give things away either. So, and to Susan, I have to say something to you and I know how emotional you get, and I respect you, but it reminds me when I was a little boy, and there was a time I was a little boy, and my brother went off to war, and it was the hardest thing for me to say goodbye to my brother. But I also felt good that everybody cared and wanted to send him things, and how my parents felt. So by your presentation and how you feel, it brings back a little bit of the little boy in me, and respect and my appreciation, admiration for my brother, who I always have. And Tammy, thank you again for the work you do on the HRC. And it just makes me think, and the way the program is run, the way you honor people within the West Orange community, and congratulations to my brother, Victor. But it also gives me the impression of what Dr. King used to say, that it's not all about me, it's about us. And that's the way we have to look at it. So I thank you and the HRC Commission. And thank you, Council President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I right?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go next. Thank you, Council President. Just a couple of issues. I do want to thank the Downtown West Orange Alliance, not only for the beautiful gifts, but also for your work. And Megan, sometimes in business school they teach you that the organization takes the face or the culture of the head, right? So your energy really carries down and it trickles down, and we all become energized because of the way you move the projects forward and the way you carry yourself. So thank you for what you do. Downtown West Orange looks a lot different than downtown West Orange 8 years ago when we were on this council. We were going through a bad economy. We made the choice of utilizing the redevelopment law as a tool to try to jumpstart, and you know what? It continues to improve. There's still a lot more to do yet. The amount of vacancies has significantly decreased, so we thank you for that. And Joe Fagan, thank you for not only educating us on the history, which makes us more proud of where we live, but also entertaining us. You do it with an entertaining flair, which we really appreciate, and it's really neat, not only via social media, but when we talk to you personally. Thank you very much, and keep doing the good work. Some of you remember Abe. Abe was the predecessor to Joe in some ways. I don't know, you got an opportunity to exchange stories with him, and you're carrying some of the stories forward. The community does need a level of history and a level of what you bring, so keep doing what you do. Thank you. And I was just speaking to our councilwoman-elect that next year she's going to be doing the trolley tour, so you would be a good resource to talk to. Maybe you should drive down West Main Street, and it'll make it easier for you, so when you do the tours, I'm sure that you already have some knowledge of the history that we have downtown, but Joe just turns you into an expert, and it makes you feel good when you can talk to the kids and the folks riding that shuttle, at least show them that in some ways you kind of know what we're talking about. So I'll be there, and I'll let you know. How you do? So good luck with everything, Councilwoman-elect. And she was tough to beat, let me tell you. I mean, she worked hard, and that drive, it's the same spirit that drives us. You know, the willingness to represent the residents of West Orange and the love for our community. So you'll do well. Lastly, I also want to mention two more items. MLK, it's just such an honor. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking the values, the courage, and the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King. I could never, add up. But at least it's nice to see that some of what we do kind of exemplifies that, and I really appreciate that. The board recognizes it, and it's such an honor. And oh my God, I don't know. I'm just gonna go home and I'm just gonna think about it, and I'm kind of stunned in some ways. I truly mean that, because it's someone that I really hold in high regard, and it's a very special holiday. I'm there every year. So thank you, Tammy, and for the work that you do. Lastly, let's talk about redevelopment. The question on Mr. Redwine spoke about the library. I know that I'm on my way out, but I'll still give you my opinion. In some ways, I'm kind of concerned if the library is moved, because where it is right now, it kind of services another part of town that may not have access to the library if it's moved into a higher ground or into a different part of the municipality. Also, some of our seniors may have difficulty getting there. I know the rent-a-house and some of our other senior citizen homes, there's an ease to getting to the current location. But before that option is exercised or looked at, I know that we're looking at the potential of leaving it where it is and then using some of the financing that will come as a result of the improvement on top of the library to fix the existing infrastructure. So and that would be the most ideal decision if it were up to me to support. But if that doesn't become ideal and that deal doesn't work and we have to consider another option, libraries are very important parts. I grew up in a public library. If it weren't for I used to hang out at libraries. Call me a little weird at the corner of 60th and Bergen Line Avenue in West New York. And that's why I ended up serving on the public library for so long. But anyway, that's for some other time. But yeah, it's such an important service, and whether it's supported where it is or at the Executive Drive. Don't forget, it's a very critical service, and make sure that it receives the necessary resources that it deserves. Let's hope that we can work it out where it is at the current location, because again, we don't want to disenfranchise the community in this area. Some of the seniors at our senior citizen homes, that would be my ideal location. Lauren, thank you for your advocacy. My neighbor, Mr. Slavilas, he's advocating for environmental justice. And I'm just going to share this. I live close to Essex Green, and as a non-elected official, I'm thinking, what would I want there, right? I want the same stores, the same level of options that existed when I first moved into the area, while in some ways respecting the community, improving property values. I know that environmental justice in some ways cannot be dictated and cannot be mandated. It's optional. Let's do what we can to make sure that we advocate for environmental justice and for clean energy. Definitely environmental friendly construction, but at the end of the day, if it's a private owner, they have a right, under our laws to do what it is that's in their best interest. As a homeowner, all I want is the same level of options or better, and redevelopment of that area. But you know what, as a decision maker and as an elected official, we have to advocate the best that we can for environmental justice. So good luck with everything, and hopefully at the end of the day, just like in downtown and on Main Street, it'll work out for all of our best interest.
Councilwoman, thank you.
Okay. Suzanne, as usual. you know, always get worked up when you're here for the love of what you do for, or not only just for your son, but for the troops and for the bringing in the program and bringing it to us at West Orange High School years ago. You made many happy men overseas serving our country. They're very grateful, and that's just the spirit that we have here in the township. Tammy had left, but I wanted to thank her for her service. She had served the Public Relations Commission for 2 years and has stepped down because her commitment, as we see tonight, with all that she's doing with the Human Relations Commission. So I just want to thank her for her 2 years on that commission, and she'll be continuing to, with her energy, bringing more and more to the Human Relations Commission. So we're excited to see what programming comes our way there. Victor, I just want you to know that tonight's a Board of Education meeting, so our colleagues over there weren't able to come this weren't able to come. Wish you farewell, but from my time serving there, when you're always there for us. You're always there for the children of the school district, and I was remiss to say that when I spoke earlier, but on behalf of my years there, I can't say enough of any time the school district had a need, or just going to speak with the kids, or volunteering, or supporting the bonding. You're always there. So on behalf of the school district, they thank you. Redevelopment, changing gears now, and we talk about being civil, and it's debate. A lot of times we debate up here, so I never have to be ashamed if I speak up. That's what we're here for, to get our opinions out there, and we try to do it in a civil way. Sometimes we're going to agree to disagree. Mrs. Krakowiak, we seem to do that sometimes, and Mr. Councilman as well. Last spring, the mayor had a meeting discussing with the developers there, asking input from the community of what we wanted up there at Essex Green. So as far as moving slow, the process started last spring. And unfortunately at that meeting, not too many ideas were posed to the mayor and with the developer sitting there, but they were more attacks on the mayor. And so that was unfortunate that meeting went in that direction. But the opportunity was given, and the doors are always open on Thursdays, and we're always, our email, we're always accessible. So if there's any ideas that you have, please never, come here, call us privately if you don't want to speak at the podium, but we're always willing to listen. Mr. Redwine, thank you for coming down with your kind words. Where I feel on the whole matter is I'm excited. I grew up in town. I remember when Barnes & Nobles was in Essex Green, there was Rickles, I worked at the Leather Warehouse, my sister worked at the Bunny Hop, worked at the Gap. There was just, great variety there. I'm tired of running up and down Route 10. And if you run up and down Route 10 and you see all the development that's going on Route 10, redevelopment plan. If you drive on Becker Farm Road and see those beautiful office buildings that are sitting there, well, in August, the Roseland Town Council voted for that site to be a redevelopment plan. So redevelopment is happening. I'm in real estate, so I guess I'm a little more passionate, or maybe I'm a little more understanding, and I travel, I'm in Hackensack, redevelopment plan going there. So as far as interpreting the law or what the law is, numerous towns, not just the cities, but townships in the state of New Jersey are utilizing redevelopment as a real estate tool in revitalizing their townships and bringing commerce, much needed commerce, which helps the tax base, which helps, the need. Now, again, the mayor said, and if I encourage you, I agree, Councilman, you should go back and watch that tape from last meeting. I think the mayor was very transparent. He was very articulate. He said numerous times, many moving parts. When you deal with negotiations and you're trying to bring the best possible opportunities to the township, it's not always going to be right out there front and center. because it wouldn't be negotiating. It wouldn't be like, you don't always show your hand at play. So I was appreciative that the administration came last week and they spoke and they updated us, because that's their role. Their role is to bring the plan to us. And so I appreciate that. Verona, another town, you go down Bloomfield Avenue, the flag company, redevelopment. But right before you, if you're going down towards Verona Park, from the top of the hill, on the left-hand side, there's another building there, redevelopment. Again, these are the kind of projects that redevelopment brings. So I know it's hard to, picture, really blighted properties that I see in Jersey City, or down in Newark, or even down the street here with the project that we have, the Edison Lofts, that actually are beautiful, and they're filling up. There's people selling their homes in Livingston and renting down here on Main Street in West Orange. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward. As far as the library, I mean, that, the mayor just didn't make that up. I've had numerous conversations with Dave Kuby, and I'm involved in Friends of the Library, and so there's always been discussions on, can that be moved? If we don't try and we're not creative and we don't look at all the moving pieces, we're not going to be successful. So hopefully we'll have a plan. And again, we're not just going to sit here. We're going to look at the different scenarios. We're going to look to see what is, financially, what is more equitable for the township. And the mayor said over and over again, if we don't get public use, there won't be ratables. Now, I asked Mr. Gross, and because as soon as I saw that email, I too, kind of freaked out and said, what's going on so quickly here? And that's part of a process. And I'm sure if you want to take a minute or two to explain that, but with them applying for an appeal, because that's something they would have to do if that's offered to them. So sometimes there's a lot of process and rules that go along with this, because it's a complex transaction, and there's timelines. So if they didn't apply, they wouldn't receive an appeal. But again, it's not there isn't anything negotiated yet. So it's kind of, I thought, putting the cart before the horse, but because there's processes that have to be followed, it's understandable. But again, if there isn't something that is attractive to the township, it probably wouldn't happen. So again, I really urge you just to look at other towns, what they're doing with their redevelopment plans. And if you read the article for Becker Farm Road, you can just Google redevelopment Becker Farm Road, Roseland. It will pop up easily on Google. And it explains on how they had tax appeals, which we had. I mean, we don't talk about that, the $4 million that we lost in tax appeals that the developer won on the property that we're paying out. So everybody thinks we're losing money if we even go to an appeal, a pilot. We're like just down with downtown. We're not going to lose what we're getting paid already, and it's going to increase. So where we'll be getting more. So, all these towns in the state of New Jersey can't be doing something inappropriate. So I'm excited to look to see what will be presented. Last week was just, a step in many steps to come. And I appreciate the administration's creativity. And I hope soon that I don't have to keep running up Route 10. I could stay right here in West Orange like we did many years ago. And I know it's hard, but I want folks to think about this. These developers are investing millions, tens of millions of dollars in our community. Have a little faith that the plan is going to be something that they're going to be able to get back on their return. So I'm sure it's something that will be all excited. I remember when McClune's was first being built, and all the negative comments that were out there about McClune's. Why are they investing? What's wrong with the county? Why are they putting this money? They're never ever going to make money back. Or it was just like the negativity, and that place is buzzing. that whole quarter there has just transformed. Now there's traffic issues that we have to deal with, but we don't have the gloom and doom that was predicted for there. So I hope, I'm excited for what's coming our way with Essex Green, especially from being a kid who used to go to the old movie theater, and look forward to all that. So anyway, again, Victor, thank you again for your service. Cindy, I look forward to working with you. Any questions, we're here. We all have to work out a team, and I told you before the meeting, there's plenty of work for all of us to do. And it's exciting times here in West Orange, so I look forward to all the improvements coming to the township's way. Council President.
Thank you very much. Good night all, and happy holiday.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk.
Okay, we're going to review the consent agenda. Approval of minutes of previous meeting, public meeting, November 27th, 2018.
Consent.
Report of township officers, none. Reading of petitions and communications and bids, none. Bills, are there any questions on the bills?
Consent.
Resolutions, are any resolutions being pulled this evening?
I have none. Anything? Councilman, any questions? Anyone?
I have both, but if
Yeah.
Councilwoman wants to go first, it's fine with me.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Just on the extension, if Mr., that's just 1 month,
Mhm.
28418, the extension on the recycling center. So I assume you're just not ready to present that to us.
That's correct.
And hopefully next month you have something to present. I would hope there's a presentation that would go along, or next month if you're presenting.
I would expect that.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman, any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. Councilman.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to follow up on that. I was hoping maybe we could just get like a 1-minute elevator pitch about Resolution 284-18 about Reliable Wood and the Environmental Center. You sort of touched on it lightly, but if there's people that aren't familiar with it, maybe you could just 30 seconds why we're here and
Yeah,
Please.
There's a company that we awarded a bid to 5 years ago to run the recycling center, and that contract has come up. We went out for proposals, and there's some concerns about that we're looking at to try to resolve in our own minds, as well as with the contractor. There was one proposal, only one proposal that we received, and it is the same people that were operating the past 5 years. So we'll be back to you, I believe, sometime in January with a recommendation to either accept the proposal or to reject it and go back out.
I also just wanted to do a similar elevator pitch on Resolution 282-18. It's authorizing the township to award a contract for janitorial services. And the only reason I bring it up is because there was actually a low bidder, and they backed out. And I just want, a 30-second explanation of.
Yeah, there's really not much more to that.
Oh, okay.
We go through a process, and the low bidder, prior to award, informed us that for a couple of different reasons, they will not be able to honor their bid, and we're going after their bid bond for that. There's whenever you put out a bid like that, they're required to put a bond just for this reason. And we're going after that. In the meantime, we're awarding to the second lowest bidder, which happens to be the current company we're doing business with.
Thank you, Mr. Gross. Also, maybe now that you're on a roll, Resolution 270-18, it's a resolution authorizing the execution of a second amendment to an interim redevelopers agreement with the Alpert Group related to the the Valley redevelopment down on Central Avenue and Mitchell. Just, again, 30, 45-second, why this is on the...
Yeah, again, well, as the Alpert Group was named as an interim developer of that site and has made great strides there in terms of knocking down buildings and moving forward. This extends that agreement into the future till we get, we're still working on remediation of the site until we find out, you know, where we're actually going to go with it and in terms of getting it cleaned up and moving forward with the project.
And essentially what we're using the Alpert Group as a bank to fund a lot of these, the remediation, with the idea that whether they take it, if they become the actual redeveloper, they'll get credit for the expenditures that they made, and if somebody else comes in, then they will get repaid.
That's correct.
I also just wanted to flag Resolution 275-18. It's the Community Development Block Grant proposed program. We get this every year. I just want to throw out whether my colleagues want to discuss the prioritization of the proposal. If everybody's okay with the way that it's prioritized, we don't have to pull it or discuss it or vote on it, but if there's anybody who wants to move things around or discuss it, we can pull the resolution.
Just as proposed is the administration's recommendation.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I'll look at it again.
Susan, right?
Yeah, you tell me.
Oh.
Looking at
What?
Yeah.
Council President,
Councilman.
on just bringing up Resolution 275, I have to recuse myself from this resolution.
Okay.
And the reason I bring this up is because, as you guys saw, about, I don't know, 4:30, 4:45, we've got about 20 emails as a result of my questions, and I haven't been able to go through all of them. But one of the emails was from Mr. Lepore, and I don't know if anybody had a chance to read it, but he talked about last year's CDBG grants, and what he said, this is on point 3 under his response to Resolution 275-18, he said the three, if I understand this correctly, I'm sure you know this too, there were 3 projects that were funded. There was roadway reconstruction of Tompkins Street, $179,000, roadway reconstruction of Stockman Street, $186,000, Bethany Center for Champions outreach for at-risk youth, $49,000. So the reason I bring this up is because I think the Bethany Center for Champions does great work. It's outreach to at-risk youth down on Ashland Avenue. They did a wonderful job. But if I read this correctly, Bethany Champions got a grant last year.
They get a grant every year.
They get a grant every year. Okay.
That's why we put them first and Main Street Counseling first.
Okay.
We put those 2 up front, and that's why we believe that this order should stay the way it is.
Okay. Yeah, and I just recall, and like I was saying earlier, I've been on the council for 8 years, so sometimes 8 years, and so I'm not always clear on my memory, but Bethany and Main Street Counseling have always been here, but I thought, 5 or 6 years ago, we were sort of alternating, like Bethany would be getting a grant every other year, but you're saying they get something every year. Okay.
I could go back and audit it, but
I'm pretty sure they get it every year.
Okay.
It's far and few between when they have them both.
Okay. Okay.
I know last year Bethany Main Street didn't get awarded
Right.
to us last year.
They got it through someone else,
Right.
through another town. So in other words, CBDG is run by the county. So if they get it from another town, they're not going to give it to you twice. So what happened was they got it from another town before they had agreed to do ours.
Okay.
So that's how it works.
So I just wanted to flag this in case anybody wanted to change it. I don't want to change it. I just wanted to clarify about Bethany. But if we don't need to pull it. I just wanted to flag it.
Change.
Everybody's okay with?
I did have one question on it.
Okay, sorry.
Councilor?
Yeah, and thank you for bringing it up, 'cause I did have a question on it, and it was one of the questions I didn't get to ask you, Mr. Gross. So my question on the 75,000, because I think last year they were purchasing a vehicle to, transport the kids around. So, again, do we have a breakdown, like does this go to their programming?
I'm sure Mr. Lepore does. I mean, this is done through his office. I don't have that. I can't tell you tonight what the breakdown of this project's on. I do not have that.
Okay, and then my other question was how many, I know years ago there used to be a lot, I just want to make sure there's still a number of students still in the program. Like how many students are they serving?
We can find that out.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact numbers, but they are doing a fine job in this town, trust me.
No, I know, I've been there. I've been there.
We've been on top of it, and we kind of watch what they do. I just don't have the numbers with me.
No, but we require information from the community house, the PAL, the mountaintop. I think we should see that as well. So if you could send it to us, I'm not opposed to it, but if we could get a report on it, I appreciate it. Like this week.
They have to fill out an application that goes to CBDG.
No,
so
I
we
know,
have
but
a copy of that.
if you could just send that to us.
Yeah, and then, again, if they're not serving the needs of this program,
they don't get the money.
They're not going to. CDBG's not going to give them. The guy's not going to give them.
Yeah, I'm sure they go in and they serve them.
Yes, I'll ask Mr. Lepore for
No, I'm curious to see what they're doing.
It seems to me that we did see the applications, and then we actually prioritized these.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not familiar.
Right.
I haven't read the applications.
Right. It's a good point. I would like to see the applications.
And lastly, I just wanted to pull, there are 3 resolutions having to do with our health care benefits for employees and retirees, and I simply haven't had a chance to go over all of the information that we got late today, and this sort of happens every year where we get a lot of complex legislation related to our health care, and I just wanted to pull these because I'm going to have to abstain because I don't feel like I understand these to the extent where I could vote on it, and would just encourage maybe in the future if we could get the information earlier than like earlier than say 4:30 today. A lot of the information that we were requesting. I don't know if anybody else did, but maybe if we can get the information and then have a week or two, maybe skip a council meeting so that we have time to look at this. It's really complicated, and it's really big bucks in the budget for our health care. So I just would like to be more careful, and I apologize for not being able to get to it, but I just wanted to pull those 3.
So it's 277, 278, and 279?
Yes, please.
When we get to that part, can you explain, Mr. Gross? Because I know I had long conversations with you this weekend.
The resolutions, and this is, and Councilman is right. We have this every year, and these are our renewals. We go out there competitively done, and we make our recommendations, and we're certainly willing to discuss those recommendations this evening.
Be prepared to discuss. It's kind of pretty much spelled out. There is a lot of information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? The consent agenda is implemented.
It's noted that
I already wrote that down. Excellent, thank you.
Were you going to say something?
What's that?
Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I will if you want me to.
Okay. When the time comes.
What's that?
When the time comes.
Resolution 277-18, resolution authorizing the renewal of the township's contract with Benecard for prescription drugs benefit for a one-year term beginning January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Councilman Krokoviac.
Like I said, I appreciate that my colleagues want to try to get more information. I just don't feel like I've been able to get through all the information that we got in the email today. So it's sort of got one hand tied behind my back, but certainly,
Jack, yeah.
yeah, please go ahead and.
Jack, John, if you can address these
This is
concerns.
a renewal of our prescription drug coverage for our employees as well as our retirees. Going out, the lowest proposal we received was from the current company, and it's a 0% increase. From last year, and we strongly recommend that.
Mhm. And can you say the same about the others? About the increase?
If you want me to talk about all three now, I can.
Just to compare.
Our dental program is renewed at a 16% decrease. And there was one other company that proposed a lower amount, or a larger decrease. However, in terms of having the healthcare professionals in their network, they don't compare to the network we have now, and our employees, basically about 2/3 of our employees, providers, wouldn't be able to participate. So it would end up being, it's really not the same. And we have a requirement to provide the same or better coverage, so we don't think that it will be. And then the last one is for our excess coverage for our medical benefits, and there is a slight increase in the cost of that co-insurance, but again, they were the least. They had the least increase in terms of that coverage. We're looking at, for the next year, in terms of our claims, somewhere in the area of 10 to 12% increase. That has nothing to do with the resolution tonight. That's just our projection of where the increase in healthcare costs for the next year.
Oh, yes.
Councilwoman Chris.
And again, I thought they were good questions. You had asked them. I had spoke with him the other day when I got my packet on Thursday. Because my question is, we always keep hearing about the state plan, and we talk about same or better coverage. And so there's debate as regards to what the state plan in 2019 will be offering, and if you break it down, it will not be same or better coverage.
Yeah, I mean, for years, there's always been a debate about going back to the state plan, and we've done calculation every year, and because the state plan was basically the same plan with some variations. This year, the state plan has made dramatic changes, and those changes actually have reduced the coverages, and it's no longer the same or better. So to the extent that we may benefit from that in the future, it's certainly something we're looking at in terms of our negotiations. We can't unilaterally change, so it's something that would have to be negotiated. And everybody would have to understand the changes, the difference in the coverages, and that may take a while because it's a relatively new plan. I'll just give you an example. One of the examples of the changes are, for instance, traditionally, if you had a $10 copay for a generic and a $20 copay for a brand name, now the state plan is you have a $10 copay for generic, and if you get the brand name, you pay the difference in price between the generic and the brand name, not a different copay. That's a dramatic difference. And there's savings. There certainly would be savings to the township for that, and obviously employees would have to pay more. And that's why it has to be negotiated, because it's part of a collective bargaining process.
So where the premiums come down, the coverage is decreased?
Yeah,
or they're actually putting out more out of the pocket?
To the extent you pay you get what you pay for, to some extent. And the question is, what coverage do you need? What coverage is acceptable to parties?
And every year when these plans come up, it's normal course of business to run the, like, the providers that our staff is using versus?
Yeah, it's a, I don't want to say it's small, but you know, they're usual suspects. You know, there's only so many players in the market, and you know, our brokers run them, buy them, and you know, basically go out and try to get the best price we can, just like you would anywhere else. So it's a competitive process, and you know, again, this year's pretty good. I mean, we came back with our dental at -16 and our prescription at even. And to the extent that we're going to see a 10 to 12% increase next year, that's driven by the cost of claims, not by the cost of our reinsurance.
Their experience, the experience.
Right.
So loss ratio.
Is there a motion to approve 277-18?
So moved.
So, second.
Hold on. Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Guarino?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Abstain.
Council President McCartney?
Yes.
Resolution 278-18, resolution authorizing the renewal of an agreement with Delta Dental for a one-year term from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Should I just go for the vote, or?
Were your questions answered pertaining to these?
Yeah, I'm just going to abstain on all of them.
I can understand that.
I know,
so just go for the vote.
Never mind. Okay, is there a motion to approve 278-18?
So second.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Guarino?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Abstain.
Council President McCartney?
Yes.
279-18, resolution awarding the contract to Sunlight for stop-loss coverage for the township's 2019 health insurance coverage effective January 1st, 2019. Is there a motion to approve 279-18?
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Guarino?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Abstain.
Council President McCartney?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinances on second and final reading. Ordinance 2557-18, an ordinance to vacate, release, and extinguish the public right to a portion of Elmwood Avenue in the Township of West Orange from Roosevelt Avenue to Garfield Avenue. Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
So moved. Second.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Guarino?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Council President McCartney?
Yes. Any comment from anyone about, this is Elmwood Avenue, portion of property, it's a paper street basically between these two properties that it's going to revert back to the owners. There could have been potential to create some kind of street through there. The engineer has met with the residents and the property is going to be given to the residents. If anyone has any comment on this, please. Seeing none? Any comments to my colleagues?
No. Pretty simple.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve 2557-18?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Councilwoman Castellino?
Yes.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Guarino?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Council President McCartney?
Yes.
There are no ordinances on first reading, pending matters, new matters, and council discussion. I have one.
Oh, yes, Madam Clerk.
No, this first.
There was an email sent to the council today from the zoning board secretary with regard to zoning board alternate members that were appointed by council consensus, Dr. Michael Straker and Bart Quinzel, which expire at the end of the month. She asked if the intent is to reappoint both of these members, please issue a letter of reappointment to my office before December 31st. Their reappointments are for 2 years, as all alternate members are. So my question tonight is that your intention? She asked me to find out.
Are they mayoral appointments?
These are your appointments, council consensus, so you all have to consent. to these two gentlemen.
They're good people.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it. They're
Yes?
good people.
Okay, I'll let her know
All in
that.
favor?
Aye.
Yeah, okay, good. I will let her know that tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Pending matters? Yes?
Just a quick question about leaf collection. When I checked up on the website a few days ago, it had what I think is an old version of, as opposed to one that actually, reflects the snow and all the other issues. Are we going to put up a new schedule so people could know? Or
I will, to the extent that we're going to be much longer, we will. I don't know the answer to that today. I know they've made some great headway. So if we're going to be out there for a prolonged period of time, we certainly will need to do that. If it's going to be over in the next few days anyway, that we may or may not know. Well, I'll check on that tomorrow.
Okay, because we usually, when I say we, I mean my house gets 2 leaf pickups. So I want to be sure I get all the rest of the leaves, because we have late trees around us, so the leaves fall late. So I just want to be sure. And I think it says everything, we're supposed to finish it all up before the end of the year.
Yes.
Okay. Is it still the plan now? Okay. Okay. So if there is substantial change, maybe put up another and send it out to people, please.
I had printed this out and addressed that at pending matters last council meeting, and it still says loose leaves may be placed along the curb and gutter of public municipal streets from October 29th through December 23rd, so yes, toward the end of the year, and that updates will continue. This started in November, depending on your zone. So just going to continue to update that until the work is done.
Yeah, the whole issue, I think not the whole issue, but the whole issue is me having to get out there and rake the leaves. But one of the issues that you can't put them out until, I think it's 5 days before your expected pickup in your...
I don't know our zones, but they are all listed. Right, it's listed here about when to place the leaves, there are certain dates, and when the leaves will be collected.
Mr. Sayers, how's the leaf collection going? Are we going to put out a new schedule, or are we getting back on schedule? Or?
No, we're getting back on schedule. We got set back because of the snowstorm, and then the rain after the snowstorm. So we're probably, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 days behind, but we have people working every day and on Saturdays now.
Okay.
Paying overtime for people to come in on Saturdays to catch up. That's where we're at.
So people shouldn't, at this point, people shouldn't expect too much difference from what the schedule is up on the town website?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Please, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, no, my neighborhood was the first, and just to your point of the leaves being out, because we skipped our first pickup because of the weather, we just received our first pickup today. So, I don't think anybody's going to get a fine if the leaves are in the street.
No, that's not going to happen, number one. And number two, like I said, we're working every Saturday now, too.
I was glad to see them there this morning.
So for Councilwoman Castellino, you would expect a second pickup somewhere in the next couple of weeks?
I have to check it, but I don't. I think I'm in zone 4 maybe.
I expect it, because all my neighbors had their leaves the day that they came and got them. Everybody's landscaper came and put all the leaves on the street. The day they came.
Okay.
Just a reminder, DEP regulation and the township policy is that leaves may not be placed within 10 feet of any drainage inlet. Especially with the rain and the weather we've had. Recessed until
Well, yes, no
January, please
ABC
explain.
hearing, and yes, I need a motion to recess until January 8th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried.
Yes, please.
There you go. Enjoy. What? Oh, yeah.
Reminded me.
We're going to say goodnight, West Orange.
Merry Christmas.
Good night,
Happy
West
New Year.
Orange. Merry Christmas. We wish everyone a joyous holiday and a very healthy, happy New Year.